Nigeria's Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment today opens a platform of interaction between the ministry and the organized private sector. Now, the online interactive meeting was aimed to bridge the gap between government policies and actions on one hand and the realities of the business sector of Africa's most populous economy on the other hand. Now, let's take excerpts from the presentation made by the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole.
I want to just say that, let me start with the EC. The EC sacrificed a lot to be here this morning because I said to him, the thing that investors want to hear the most about on the fiscal side is a new tax architecture, and you have to be here. Mr. Ayodele tried everything to be here. He had committed to 3 things in Lagos, and we tried so hard to get him online. So I'd like to appreciate the tax gang for taking us to that break. And just to say, engineer, this is like your first outing with us at FMITI in your new role, but you've been with us for many, many years. Thank you for always being committed, Nasima, and just being here, private sector, to lead the investors to listen to this. The special advisor, I appreciate your taking us through all what you've been doing from the presidency and the work that you've been doing, particularly with the Honorable Minister of State of this ministry of the industry terrain. Now, if I don't mention the next person aside on his own, it will be remiss of me. Please help me to appreciate the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment for his relentless support of the work that we do at this ministry and making all my wild requests come true. Yes, I really appreciate you. My directors, they're here in their forms. Please wave, let everybody know. The directors from FMITI, the powerhouse behind the ministry, they're here. And the heads of agency are also here in their numbers. I also want to recognize the hard work that has been put in by my team from the Office of the Honorable Minister to make today possible. Now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our indefatigable private sector, the generals, and the whole army of carefully picked private sector. I would say that this inaugural Domestic Investment Summit of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is an important one. And before I begin, I want to honor His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, a patriot and statesman who devoted his life to the service of this nation with quiet strength, deep conviction, and unwavering belief in Nigeria's promise. The man under whom I had the privilege of serving in the presidency of the federal government of Nigeria for 8 years. Mention has been made of my work on ease of doing business, and without whom I literally wouldn't be standing before you here today. He personally sent my CV in a brown envelope to my current boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, at the end of the last administration. And when my current boss says, Mr. President, you sent me a brown envelope, I thought it was money. He said, what's in there is better than money. So please help me to appreciate President Muhammadu Buhari. I would like to thank all of you for your understanding and flexibility during our period of national mourning. And we appreciate your continued commitment to participating in this important gathering. The Secretary General of the AFCFTA Secretariat, he flew in my private jet last week and spent a night here and mourned with us and had to leave. Unfortunately, had other commitments for today. The Central Bank Governor was on standby, and you know what meeting he has today and the high representation that he sent. Other panelists, like Mr. Bolaji Balogun, arrived in Abuja and had to get back on another flight. So the point I'm making is that this event is an extremely important one. Mr. President directed me to convene this summit as a focus group session with a carefully handpicked crop of medium to large-sized domestic investors that power the Nigerian economy, for us to co-curate strategies, policies, and reforms, and come back to him with clear targets and specific requests of what is needed to help us to actualize the 8-point renewed hope agenda, the Nigeria First policy, and to achieve the $1 trillion economy by 2030. This is his specific directive, and that is why we're here today. Clap for my boss. Or else, no, seriously, this is how important it is to him. Therefore, today is more than a convening, and you will notice that we didn't make it loud, we didn't want the distractions that sometimes very large summits can have. So the list of businesses here, of agencies here, of people in this room was very carefully selected. And it is a shared affirmation that Nigeria's economic transformation must be built on a foundation of domestic strength, anchored in Nigeria's capital, Nigerian enterprise, and Nigerian talent. Consistent with Pillar 7 of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, we are accelerating economic diversification through targeted reforms in industrialization, digitization, the creative economy, manufacturing, and innovation. At the start of the year, the ministry laid out a clear strategy with a bold outlook for 2025, and targets included a $6 billion in foreign direct and portfolio investment target, a $6.5 billion in non-oil exports target, a 20% increase in trade volumes, and a 200,000 export-led jobs. Through targeted investment roadshows and strategic investments engagements, we've unlocked over $50 billion in commitments, strengthened investor confidence, and repositioned Nigeria as a credible, forward-looking investment destination. As the global economic map redraws itself, Nigeria must begin with Nigeria. That is the spirit of the Nigeria First policy, a deliberate push towards economic sovereignty, local value creation, and national prosperity. This means prioritizing domestic production, deepening value chains, equipping our youth for global competitiveness, and building resilience from within.